How to deal with anxiety. My name is edjcsmith. A pleasure to connect with you. In this video, you're going to learn 4 lessons so that you can deal with your anxiety, so that you can get rid of your anxiety and you can achieve more. If you want to learn more, be more, create more, live life on your terms, this video is for you. Stay tuned. I'll see you on the other side. So first of all, why is getting rid of your anxiety so important? First of all, because if you don't get rid of anxiety, if you don't get rid of stress, think about the effects that it's having for your body. You know, I always say, imagine a car driving around in gear 1. Everyone can see the car driving around, but the internal damage that's going on underneath the hood in the engine will tear the car up, right? So that's what stress is, that's what anxiety is. And today, why more than ever, most people suffer from anxiety because we live in this information overload era. You know, people want to achieve, people want to get a better life, create more, they want to be more, they want to start living life on their own terms. They don't know where to start, and anxiety is one of the major reasons that people don't achieve. Stress and running yourself down. So in this video, you're going to learn, as I said, 4 lessons really simply so you can apply it and so that you can start getting rid of your anxiety and start achieving at a higher level. You excited? I am. Okay, lesson number 1. We must start thinking lesson number 1 as your emotions are signals to your mind to do something. For example, what do I mean by that? Emotion, the Greek word means mutus, which means movement. So there's a movement to every single emotion. There's a movement, and I want you to start thinking of an emotion as an action signal. And if you're feeling an emotion, then maybe you should do something. So for example, anxiety, does it make sense if I said it's a subset of fear? So there's something that you're thinking about in the future, and more often than not, most people are hardwired to see it going badly, right? So they see themselves doing a presentation and it's going badly. They see themselves with people laughing. You know, they see their business failing, they see themselves getting fired, they see themselves getting rejected in a relationship, they see themselves not achieving that sporting role, that health role, and it's all going in the wrong direction. Thus, it starts to stress them out more, right? Anxiety, many people will say, is taking things too seriously all of the time. You have to learn to be more adaptable and flexible. But number 1, first of all, the first lesson is get prepared. If you're feeling anxious, then get prepared. Let's prepare something. For example, if you are doing a speech, if you practice that speech, if you know what you're talking about, then you have less fear. If you are going on a date and you have, you practiced your interactions and, you haven't spent all your time in a room for the last 3 years, and you practice your banter, your ability to exchange, your ability to create and cultivate charisma and humor, then you're not going to be so worried. And if it is a working environment, then the same thing. If you're prepared, if you've done your due diligence, you've done your research, you put in for it, like for example an interview, you've done the work beforehand, then you're going to be in a better situation to handle that. Does that make sense? So as always, you've got to practice more, you've got to learn more, you've got to be more effective, you've got to prepare more. There's no point. I used to have a business with a good friend of mine, and when the tax bills used to come through, he just used to throw them into the bin. They are a warning. He said they used to make me really anxious. There's a warning. If you can't pay your tax as a business, you have to do more profit. You have to be more effective. It's a warning to say, do something about your business. You need to pay your tax. Does that make sense? Yeah. The second major lesson. Are you ready? Here you go. You've got to declutter your brain. You've got to declutter your life. You've got to declutter your desk, your desktop, your phone. If your mind is always looking at loads and loads of things in front of you, then it will always cause anxiety. If you're that person that has, 55,000 unread messages, then it's constantly building up in your head. It's constantly building up. And You need to clear that stuff out. Maybe you've heard before, if you're crazy internal, then you're crazy external. If you're calm internal, then you're calm external. And it starts with making sure that there's not clutter. If you have a tidy room, if you have a tidy car, if you have a tidy working space, then you start to be tidy up here and you can start to create more because of that. I always suggest to avoid clutter, make sure you just write 3 things down every single night that you need to do the day before. You've got to prepare ahead of schedule so that when you do go to bed, that your mind starts to be super clear on what it needs to do the day before. The third major lesson, are you ready? Here you go, mental rehearsal. Mental rehearsal. You've got to see yourself doing it effectively. You've got to see yourself getting the result. You've got to see yourself, winning the situation rather than seeing yourself doing it wrong. Now, of course, this is called hedonic adaptation, where the brain actually wires the structure ahead of schedule. And as I said, if you meet someone with a phobic, intense response to the past, they will always see themselves ahead of schedule doing it incorrectly. And so that you've got to actually practice visualizing. And I know maybe for some of you that might be abstract. However, it's a very science-based process. The first doctor to ever, one of the first doctors, Dr. John Callahan, in 1956 was one of the first guys to actually ever do open heart surgery, where they actually sat down and operated. I know in the past they've done future tests before that from the 1850s and stuff. However, he was the first in 1956 to do a successful open heart surgery. And when they interviewed him, he said he visualized the process over and over again, because obviously they didn't have the actual blueprint for doing that sort of operative work. So you actually have to visualize yourself doing it the way you want it, doing it the right way, doing it going well. Downside, be aware of what can potentially happen, but see yourself doing it the way you want it. Of course, get a vision board, see the things that you want to do, see the things, your bigger dreams, your aspirations, your goal, your vision, and you've got to see that every single day. And when you look at your reason why you need to do this, if you create a bigger why, then of course it will drive you. There's no point having a Ferrari if you can't fill it up. Your why is the petrol in your Ferrari. And so the reason that you want to do something every single day. So it's really, it's visualization, but it's practicing your focus. You can focus on, for example, if a child gets, 2 out of 10 in a test, you can look at it 2 ways, right? You can say the child got 2 out of 10 correct, or the child got 8 out of 10 wrong. Very different ways to which to look at it. Now, 2 out of 10 correct will make you feel esteemed, it'll release endorphins, positive hormones, and you'll feel good about yourself. Focus on the wrong side, 8 out of 10 are wrong, and you will feel less than. So the choice is yours. I would always say focus and be aware on both parts of that, but focus on something that empowers and not disempowers. Of course, we have to touch on health. That's the 4th major lesson. You've got to get the right amount of sleep for your body. You've got to make sure you're eating lean and clean and green, whatever's right for you. But the more effective your sleep is, the less anxiety you will have. The more effective your food is, what you eat is a reflection of what you feel internally. Your gut health is very important, something that we'll touch on a little bit later. But people always say, how much sleep do you have? Recently, I just got back from a talking tour that I did in Europe. I did Krakow, Warsaw. I did a couple of different places in Romania, Bulgaria. I did Kenya as well. And of course, I was very tired. If you're run down, you're going to get stressed. If you run down, you're going to get more anxiety. So you've got to get your right level of sleep. Check out the content in this channel. I've got some great videos on sleep, and I'll be doing some more on that. If you want any specific questions, then write a comment below. Remember to like this video, subscribe. As always, a pleasure to connect with you, and I'll be giving you more in detail about that. And of course, this is 4 quick lessons to how to stop and deal with your anxiety, how to deal with your anxiety so that you can achieve more, be more effective, create the life that you truly deserve. Just a quick recap, are you ready? Get prepared, make sure you're prepared, make sure you learn ahead of schedule for the one thing that you're doing. So write yourself a question underneath. How prepared are you for whatever it is that you're anxious about on a scale of 1 to 10? Write down that number, and when you get to a 10 prepared, you'll feel less anxiety. Does that make sense? Get prepared, How anxious are you about something ahead of schedule? Learn more in that area, become more competent. Remember, confidence equals competence. Number 2, declutter your brain. Make sure you get rid of the things that are stressing you out. And I'll be doing a session on overwhelm specifically for that. But make sure there's no clutter, make sure your room's tidy, make sure your desk's tidy, make sure your phone's tidy, make sure your head's tidy, make sure that your heart, your spirit, and your soul is tidy too. You've got to mental prepare. That's number 3, mental preparation. Seeing yourself doing it the way you want it, doing it the right way, doing it successfully, happily achieving, doing those things rather than seeing it going the wrong way. Number 4, you've got to make sure your health is in line, make sure you get your sleep, make sure that you get your food in, make sure you're eating lean, clean and green as always, standard procedure. A little bit of lessons on that later. That's it for the meantime. If you care, please like and share. And if you like this video, give it a thumbs up, subscribe, comment below, and I look forward to catching up with you soon so that you can be more, create more, live life on your terms, and I look forward to meeting you soon, maybe at a live event. Come along and say hi one time. Till then, see you soon.